Debate is always good. Let's chat about it.
Yan Miguelela, you watching the chat room with me, Sarah Tabeta. This is where we tackle your dilemmas head on. Today, we're asking the question, Uguti, are some ages of legal consent in South Africa too low? Did you know, Uguti, a pregnant 12-year-old girl can legally go to a clinic and terminate a pregnancy without parental consent in Mzansi? And young people are allowed to be sexually active at the age of 17. Enock Shishenge, who is a concerned secondary school teacher, is here to complain to our government about these ages of legal consent as being too low. He says the law is failing society in this regard.
Good. Let's chat about it. Let's start.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us here in the chat room, are some ages of legal consent in South Africa too low? Well, that's the chat room question we're asking today. Before the break, we met school teacher Enock Shishenge, who is concerned that 12, 14, 16 and 18-year-olds are being given adult rights, and this is counterproductive. So when I get Kaya Shele, what is your view? Please use hashtag the chat room and post your comments on Facebook, Twitter, as well as on Google+. Enock is in the chat room and willing to face the government and express his concerns. While government is present on our panel of guests today, let's meet them. On my right is Ms. Lumka Oliphant from the Department of Social Development. She will explain why the ages of consent are set where they are for various reasons. We are also joined by Felix Malapani, who is a development activist who agrees with Enock on this. And lastly, we're also joined by Ubheki Nkuta, a community leader who also interacts with youngsters a lot, but has a different view to Enock. So let's get chatting. Thank you everyone for joining us. With Enock, I know for a fact that you've got three major concerns regarding the age of consent. Let's start with the first one, the drinking age. You feel, Uguti, it should be taken to 21 and 18 is just too young. Why? As a school teacher, what are you saying that's making you come to that conclusion?
Actually, what makes me come to that particular conclusion, it's a simple thing. When kids are still on the school-going age, there are a lot of things that they actually encounter. Let's say the child can actually abuse alcohol, and that will actually affect that particular child in terms of the performance at school. So if maybe the government can actually take that to 21, you find that when they are 21, they are responsible, they can actually be able to drink and drink responsibly. But if you can check what's happening in the township, young people at the age of 16, you find that they're allowed to actually buy beers and drink, and as such...
Yes, but 16 is illegal. So yes. we know government is not even saying 16. So we're saying at 18, government feels that 18-year-olds are responsible enough to drink.
No, the 18-year-old, you find that most of them are still in grade 12. They are not responsible enough. If you can check, we are always actually interacting with young people. And these young people, they need the assistance from older people so that they can actually do things very well. So if you actually leave them at their devices and you just say that they need to actually be allowed to drink, that won't actually be okay for them, because they will end up abusing alcohols. And once they do that, they are destroying their future.
Okay. But Enock, I want to go to your second point. Your second point that concerns you as a teacher is the fact that children at the age of 14 cannot get married, but only have sex at 16. Why is it an issue?
Yeah, you see, if a child at the age of 14 gets married, it means that particular child is still under the age, school-going age. So it means that particular child will have to actually take responsibilities at home and take care of the husband if it's a woman, or take care of the wife if it's a boy. So which means the actually work at school will be affected. You see, all these things that are actually being done, you find that this age of consent, having sex, at, getting married at 14 and all those, that will actually disturb in terms of the smooth running of that particular child's education.
Debate is always good. Let's chat about it. Let's start.
Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, you're in the chat room. And the question today is, are some ages of legal consent in South Africa too low? Very heated debate before the break. We looked at a few of the ages of consent and discussed them. Now we're trying to find a solution, guys. Especially for you, Enock, because you came up with all of these issues. What would you say the government should do more in this situation?
Yeah, sometimes on the part of our government, you find that there are paralysis of analysis, in the sense that you find that they actually introduce some legislations, but there are no supporting structures that are actually put in place to make sure that those legislations are implemented and implemented the best way. If we work as a collective whereby parents will play their part, teachers play their parts, children play their parts, these other departments like social development, they need to come time and again to school and try to address these kids on these issues, because these issues are of utmost importance. And once they come and make themselves available so that they can actually be able to sort out this problem, we understand that we cannot actually be able to sort it in a day. But if they keep on coming time and again, create programs that will make these kids come closer, might be competitions and stuff that will actually speak about these things, so that we expand their understanding of these legislations.
Okay. How best do you think we can go about making young people understand the legislations and be responsible with the current ages of consent in place?
I think one thing that must be done, which I reflected on earlier on, is that the government must ensure that whatever legislation that they get out, and we understand the process of lawmaking, green paper, white paper, and all that, but there must be a strong advocacy that goes with it. For instance, many people are arguing around the issue of age of consent because they are not clear what is happening. And we ask ourselves a question: is the government not psychologically promoting young people to have sex? And is no any other best way for them to have dealt with issue of 12-year-olds getting pregnant and all that? So we are saying that the government, together with society, must ensure that we educate these kids on values and morals, and ensure that we empower them to be able to make decisions and decide right.
Balungu loka kowa wena, tatumeka wena ushiromane. Babalungu loka kowa wena,